show. Let's start the review of episode 1 of American Horror Story Apocalypse. This episode was written by Ryan and Brad, and it was directed by Bradley Buckner. Now, if you'd like to support the channel, leave a like or contribute to my Patreon where you get tons of exclusive rewards, such as moderator status and guest star status on Beyond the Horror, my unofficial American Horror Story after show. Link to my Patreon is in the description, as well as a link to my group, The Freaks of AHS on Facebook. Come join us. Now guys, spoilers. If you haven't watched the first episode of American Horror Story Apocalypse, I don't want to be that jerk that spoils it for you. So please don't go any further. Thank you so much to my patrons, because without their generosity, I wouldn't be able to bring you guys so many fantastic videos. Alicia, Mia, and baby Jalen George, Lisa Lee, No Tell Hotel, Michael Mullins Wright, Kenny Joseph, Dawn Ford, X Misa, Scott Bryant, John Morgan, The Leopard Cat, Connor Thane, Cody Spencer, Sookie Fawn, Shane, Mike Gedney, and Debbie Ebbie. Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. The episode opens with Evan Peters as Coco's hairdresser, and Mallory is Billy Lord, her assistant. Coco is so bitchy and hilarious. I mean, I love her already. And Kenny, one of the guest stars of Beyond the Horror, my unofficial American Horror Story after show, thought it was really awesome how Coco was indicative of Chanel from Scream Queens, and loved how the two names go together, Coco Chanel. So I wonder if that is the inspiration between these two characters. So Coco gets a text about a missile launch. Everybody in the salon gets a text about it, and she thinks that it's a hoax. But Coco's father calls her and tells her that the alert is real and LA will be decimated in less than an hour. And she has to get to a plane at the airport and leave before it hits, and she will be saved. Now, her boyfriend Brock, who is played by Billy Eichner, is far away and doesn't get to the plane in time. R.I.P. to Billy Eichner, who played such a short, small role this season. The plane is on autopilot, and when the passengers go check, no one is driving, so to speak. My theory is that the entire plane was magically enchanted to bring Coco and her family to the Outpost number 3, and that's why it actually made it. The opening of the actual episode ends when the bomb hits the city and the plane goes down. And I have to say, the image of Leslie Grossman's eyes and a tear falling down it when she sees that the bomb is actually struck, and all of those people that she knew, everybody, doesn't matter how self-centered she was, everybody was dead all at that very moment. And I just thought it was a very awesome scene and so indicative of the emotions that she should be feeling. So next we meet Timothy and his mother and his brother. He's accepted to UCLA, and the moment the city is alerted to the bomb is when he gets his acceptance letter. Sadly, the family, they don't know what to do. The father comes in and they all decide that, there's nowhere to go, so they just have to stay together. And that's when a military car pulls in front of their house. They run inside the house and tell Timothy that he was pre-selected by the cooperative due to his unique genetic makeup. And he has been chosen to survive, and he must go with them. Now, at first, Timothy and his family are obviously very reluctant to let Timothy go, but they do indicate that Timothy submitted his blood to Ancestry DNA sites, and that's how he was selected. I'm telling you guys, I'm still pretty paranoid about those ancestral DNA sites. If you've done one and you've had a positive experience, please leave so in the comments, because right now we're all a bunch of paranoid SOBs. So reluctantly, Timothy does go with them, and he's thrown into and locked in a bottom bunker that's sectioned off, and he meets Emily. Now, 2 weeks go by, and suddenly Emily and Timothy are given radiation suits, and they're moved outside of the city. 2 people are being executed. They're being shot in the head right as Timothy and Emily walk up to this large circular building. It's black, and I know it's very difficult to see in the picture, but it has a little slit opening that goes with the circular surrounding, and it leads inside to a decontamination zone. And these two people are being executed right in front of Timothy and Emily as soon as they approach the building, and it's very tough to take and very ominous. We see Venable immediately after they go through decontamination. And I have to say, she was very formidable, very impressive. The Outpost, Venable tells them, used to be a boys' school until it was converted when it became apparent that the apocalypse was going to happen. Now, I have to say, guys, this was built by the Cooperation, and we do find out later that Coco and her family bought tickets for $100 million. So now we know the funding that it took to get those outposts going. So I wonder who the cooperative is and the Cooperation. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if I said that wrong earlier. So I wonder who is behind the cooperative and what was their main agenda. And what sort of genetic markers did they use to flag people? Emily revealed to us that she did not receive any information when she was thrown into her bunker. She was just taken from a jail cell. She had been arrested for protesting at her college. So Timothy is trying to put together why she was taken and chosen to survive. He still cannot find the attachment. Timothy and Emily, they are considered purples, and they must wear purple colors. And they are the elite, the worthy, the chosen ones. And Venable explains that people who wear gray, they're called the Greys, and they are the worker bees. I love the cult reference to that. Venable is basically like the face of the cooperative. So she informs them that the rules is you must refer to Venable as Ms. Venable. Never leave the house, because if you do, you won't be allowed back in due to the radiation. And no unauthorized sex. And I just wonder why. Now, later, the numbers 666 are written on a steamy mirror in Timothy's bathroom after he takes a shower, and a female voice whispers, "Beware, Timothy," to him. It's very ominous. Some people think that that's Cordelia whispering to him. I think possibly that it is another witch in Decentium or something whispering to him, such as maybe Violet. Or, excuse me, not Violet, Zoe. See, there's so many characters this season that are coming in. We're all going to get a little confused by them every once in a while. Now, when Emily and Timothy go to dinner, their clothing they're dressed in is tremendously old. Even the technology used inside the outpost is old. There's no lights. Everything is used candles. There's no technology. Absolutely no TVs or radios. Nothing. There's music being piped into a common room, but the occupants can't control it. So Evan mentions to the group how the same song repeats in the common room every single night. And I loved the throwback to Asylum there, because as you guys know, Sister Jude did the same thing to the residents of Briarcliff Manor, where she repeated the singing nun every single damn day. God, it was freaking annoying. Whew. So Evan, Mr. Gallant, his grandmother Joan, Coco, and Dinah Stevens are purple, and poor Mallory is a gray. And I forgot to mention, guys, that Evan and his grandmother Joan, they basically insert themselves into Coco's plane when they hear Coco's dad tell Coco that she's got to get to the airport. There's 4 seats available. Evan runs home, grabs Joan, and meets Coco at the airport and pushes himself and his grandmother on the plane. So she agrees to take them. And I have to say, I am loving Joan's character this season. She is a great comedic relief. And whoever is writing for her and Coco, I love them. They are so fantastic. Now, Coco goes loco at dinner, and Venable basically bitch slaps her back to her mother's womb. And one interesting fact that we do learn in this section is that Coco paid the $100 million for her ticket. So I think it's safe to say that she overpaid. Now, personally, guys, I'd rather perish in the apocalypse with my family than go without my freaking bag of trail mix of assorted nuts. I just can't do it. Venable tells everyone that the world government has fallen and people are basically killing for food. and that they are the only real civilization left in the world. Other outposts have fallen, so everything is precarious. And we do learn that there are 6 total outposts. At dinner, everyone is tested for radiation because somebody has obviously went outside. Evan and Stu test positive for radiation and are decontaminated. Oh my God, that looks so freaking painful. But sadly, Stu cannot be saved. He still has radiation and he has to be killed. Now, I apologize, guys. I'm going to refer to Kathy and Evan as their real names because I just don't remember their character names right now. So I do apologize. I'll have my shit together during episode 2. Kathy goes to visit Venable, and they're both dressed in purple. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I thought maybe they were both promoted to purple. But I don't think they were. I think they were parading around in the purple robes trying to feel like royal, like they are worthy, like they were chosen. So they play like a game of gin rummy or something, and they talk about how Kathy set up Stu to die and how it gave them a tickle, like the looks on their faces at dinner when Kathy announced that somebody somebody went outside and they all clammed up. They talk about how it gave them a tickle. So Kathy talks about how she was an army brat. Her dad, she's used to death because of her dad. It was in the military, but she respects the chain of command. However, Venable says that it's only them and that there's no cooperative. They're not actually watching them, which I would never believe that ever. And I got the impression, guys, and perhaps you can let me know in the comments if you got the same thing. But I got the impression that Kathy's character and Venable had some sort of electrical spark, like a love spark. Like possibly they were sweet on each other, or they had been flirting, or maybe they had been in love. I'm not sure, but I definitely got a romantic spark between the two of them. So let me know what you thought about that in the comments. At dinner time, Venable and Kathy Bates, they give everybody meat, a stew for dinner, which I don't know why the hell they would eat it. Stu was just killed over radiation poisoning, and all of a sudden they're feeding you a meat stew? No! Don't eat it, people! But sadly, Stu is in the stew, and I have to say that the one-liner award of this episode goes to Coco when they all realize that the meat in the stew is stew. Coco screams, "Mallory, get over here and stick your finger down my throat." Coco is so like my husband. I love her so much. And I have to say, another really hilarious part is that Joan Collins eats her entire meal. She was like, it's chicken. She just threw the whole cannibal idea out of her brain, and she just ate that. She just ate Stu. She ate the shit out of him. Now, when the song changes in the common room after dinner, the group thinks that the cooperative is coming for them, and they celebrate that they're going to be rescued. 18 months go by and there is no rescue. I mean, look at the look on Joan's face right now. Even Evan is so desperate for food, he's starting to talk about eating somebody. Anyway, in this time, though, in this 18 months, Timothy and Emily have fallen in love, but they can't do anything about it. They can, steal a kiss every once in a while, but nothing else. All rations are low, and something is like insanely going on with Coco's hair. It's just horrendous. Now, people are getting furious, especially when the rations are so low that they have to literally cut down to half a cube a day. People are pissed and they start getting angry at Venable when all of a sudden the alarm goes off, indicating that somebody has breached the perimeter of the outpost. The camera flashes to a horse and a carriage riding up to the outpost. The cooperative has shown up, and the person flashes a badge to the Kathy Bates character, and the name Michael Langdon is on the badge, bitches. Yeah. I love the murder house music in this scene. When Michael comes into the Outpost, they play one of the murder house songs about being in my heart and tonight you belong only to me. And it's, oh my God, I think it was the end song for Murder House. Anyway, it was great to have that flashback in there. So Michael tells Venable that he's there to take those worthy in the outpost to a new facility that has supplies, it's more secure, and it's better. And the ones who are not worthy will stay and die like his horses. Now, that is the end of episode 1. And one last thing I did want to say is that there was something that pulled the horses that Kathy shot outside the outpost because they were basically infected with radiation poisoning. Some kind of creatures grabbed them into the trees and started eating them. So I cannot wait until we get to see those creatures. And if you guys know me in real life, you probably got to see one of those creatures when you saw me this morning when I woke up and took my kids to school, because I was so tired yesterday from the premiere party, the videos, Beyond the Horror, all that stuff, that I literally looked and felt and talked like a zombie this morning. So as y'all know, I love your theories and ideas, so make sure that you leave them below and I'll probably reply to you. And let me know, of course, what you thought of episode 1 of AHS Apocalypse. If I had to rate it on a level of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the best, I would give it an 8.5. It wasn't the strongest premiere for American Horror Story for the franchise, but it was really strong for me. So I definitely give it an 8.5. Now, if you'd love to support the channel, please leave a like or contribute to my Patreon, where you get tons of exclusive rewards such as moderator status and guest star status on Beyond the Horror, my unofficial American Horror Story after show. Link to my Patreon is in the description, as well as a link to my group, The Freaks of AHS, on Facebook. Come join the Freak Show. Thank you so much for watching, and beware of sexy scabbage.
Beware of sexy scabbage.